How's it going out there, YouTube? My name is Jesse, and I am the curator for the Golden Age. And this is another
Lost Heroes of the Golden Age.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We are doing an interesting one today. This is a request video, and it's requested by... We keep putting a new one up there every time, don't we?
Seems that way.
Okay. Today we are doing...
Miss Masque, Scourge of the Underworld.
That's a tagline. I knew you'd like that.
That's not the only thing I like. Oh, yeah.
You're not going to do this the whole time, are you?
There is a strong possibility.
No. I'm not going to do this and listen to you objectify this character the entire time. I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing this.
Well, this is awkward. I don't think that he is coming back for the intro. Okay, I guess I'll finish the intro. We are doing Miss Masque, which... Okay, he's not coming back. Masque is actually spelled M-A-S-Q-U-E, but pronounced Masque. I looked it up. Basically, he may have not liked it, but she was designed to be a sex symbol. Okay, that might be a little crash. We'll just say she was designed to be eye candy. But, and you may think that I'm totally wrong. Then tell me why the change in the outfit. You see, issue 53, she's got that full outfit on. But by issue 54, she was wearing so much less. And I am so thankful for that. See, they're exposing the cleavage. They show the midriff. Her arms aren't completely covered anymore. That's what she was designed for. Now, she is a rich girl, one of the socialites. Just like Miss Fury and just like the Black Tigress. Now, in the 1940s, up until today, sex sells. That's why they made her a lot sexier. Don't believe me? Then if she wasn't there for eye candy and to bring in young boys, why was she on every cover of Amazing Comics since she appeared? Issue 23 to the end of the run in 31, she was the featured cover because she was designed to be having young boys read. They come in for the action, they stay for the eye candy. I'm being a little more sensitive than when we discussed this one earlier. So let's go ahead and get this video started.
What do you think you're doing?
You left. I took over.
I'm not going to let you objectify this character during the entire review.
Well, if you think you can stop me and take back over, you're welcome to try.
Well, let's go then.
Let's get started.
Miss Masque, M-A-S-Q-U-E. Real name, Diane Adams, first appeared in Exciting Comics number 51 in 1946. Publisher is Nedor. There is nobody created with the creation of this. I don't know why. There shouldn't be a reason for it. It's the 40s. Half of the characters are unknown, or have unknown artists. Now, she was a fairly popular character in Exciting Comics. In fact, in number 53, she is the first person to supplant the Black Terror on taking over the featured cover. When the Black Terror appeared on Exciting Comics number 8, he was never supplanted until Miss Masque, where she supplanted him for one issue where he would come back as the feature, and soon he would get supplanted as the feature covered with Jane the Jungle Girl. I think it was Jane of the Jungle. That's actually where she would replace Miss Masque as well. When Miss Masque came out, it was 1946, and people were getting disenfranchised with superheroes. And she's not a superhero. She is or a superheroine. She's a heroine. But the fact that she was wearing a mask, she got grouped in with superheroes who all wore masks. So she got moved to, let's see, it was America's Best Comics. Now, America's Best is they put their overflow people in the comics. Now, I will tell you, she was a fairly popular character. She moved there with issue 23, and she was on every cover, along with the Black Terror and sometimes the Fighting Yank, all the way until the end run of that, which was at number 31. She also had an issue, she was also an issue with the Black Terror, and she appeared in 2 issues of the Fighting Yank. Now, she did not fight with them, she was in their own single stories, which I think missed a gigantic opportunity to have them work together on a case. That would have been great. But in the Golden Age, there wasn't, well, I don't want to say there wasn't a lot of crossovers. A lot of things besides Archie, Timely, and DC, there wasn't an incredible amount of crossovers, which, I don't know, maybe there would have been more popularity if they did. But Miss Masque would first start off in a full outfit. The arms, the gloves, the hat, and the dress that was more of a mini skirt, but it covered her full body. In issues number 43 and the other issues on, she went to a more curvish look to really win guys over. You need to hush. She showed just a whole lot more. The arms were exposed. She had the midriff, the mini skirt, and the top, which exposed more cleavage. I said, stop that. I don't totally disagree with you. And yes, she was definitely designed to bring men, or boys, or men, teenagers, into the comic books. You can see how she looks. That's exactly what she did. And they said that's what she was designed for. She had a sexy figure to bring in young boys to read in the comic books. Did we came in for action adventure? Definitely. And we came for her as well. And after her brief stunt in the Nedor comic books, she wouldn't appear until AC Comics would bring her back. Now, she would star on the pages of Femforce, which is not a surprise. A number of the female heroines that appeared in the Golden Age would come out in AC Comics and Femforce also. Now, if you've ever looked or read any of Femforce, I haven't exactly read them, but I've given them a glance. Femforce was major TNA. Was that for women? Absolutely not. Because if it was for women, the TNA wouldn't be as obvious as it was. That's exactly what this was. She appeared a part of Femforce. I think she might have had her own run at the time as well. And she appeared on the pages of Project Superpowers, which I have read, and we'll get into that. So I think she had a series that came after Project Superpowers based on that, and if I'm not mistaken, Dynamite Entertainment has brought her back as soon as 2020 to do another line. Now, I, of course, would like to read the Dynamite Entertainment comics, and I think at the next Comic-Con, that's what I'm going to go after. I've really been interested in Dynamite Entertainment since I've been reviewing the Golden Age characters. So, we'll go over her first appearance. She has no origin story. She's already established. She's actually established as being the hero before she shows up as the hero. They said that she once again dons her costume. So let's go over her stories. We'll go over some of the outfits.
Yeah.
You need to stop that.
Hubba hubba.
Seriously. We'll go over the outfits that she wore in the Golden Age. I can't cover AC because I haven't read it, but I told you about it. And then we'll also cover Project Superpowers. So, let's do this. We start with an opening splash page, and keep in mind, this is actually her first appearance. Greed, that deadly poison which gnaws so destructively at a man's soul, begins a startling new chapter in the drama-packed life of Diana Adams, society's glamorous favorite. Okay, that's weird. Once again, she assumes the precarious role of Miss Masque to tackle the case of the Mad Miser. Now, they show this guy like trying to get all this money from a demon statue with a cornucopia in his hand, which is pretty good representation of his greed. We come in on the farmhouse and we see this guy, and he's like, money. All my life I've saved every penny I could lay my hands on, but it was worth it. Now I've got thousands. I'm rich. And thousands is a lot of money back in the golden age. Inflation is horrible. Then we see that behind him he has a wife and a kid, and she's actually asking for some money because she wants to get her kid a coat because she's going to catch a cold if she doesn't get one. He says that he is not going to give 1 penny to his wife. In fact, he says, blast it, woman. Can't you think of anything else but how to spend my money? I will not give you a penny. Do you hear me? Not a penny. And she tells her how the money has turned him inhuman and she's leaving. And he's like, good riddance, get out. We see that the years passed. Let's see. In the years past, no longer did Solace miss his family or man's companionship. Money was everything he's worshipped. And so he is told by this farmer next door that he's not going to be getting any money from the man's well. And he's like, look, if you want water, go get your own well repaired. And this guy's so obsessed with money that he's not going to repair his own well. And he says he'll get revenge on the man for not giving him any water. Then we cut to what we find out is Diana Adams, and her car is overheating. We see it smoking. She happens to knock on the door of the greedy man and asks for water, and he slams the door in her face, saying that she's not going to get any water. Apparently she doesn't find the neighbor, which is just like, I guess he's right next door, but she doesn't find anybody else, so she decides to try and drive into town with her engine smoking. Of course, she doesn't make it, and the engine is totaled. So she says that she's going to catch a lift into town, and then she'll have somebody come out and fix the car or grab the car in the morning. And when you're rich, you can do something like that. Keep in mind, cell phones didn't exist at this time. Meanwhile, back at Solace's ranch, a man knocks on his door and asks for a handout because he hasn't eaten anything in a whole day. And Solace says, a tramp. I could use him. I guess a homeless man, they referred to him as a tramp. He goes, I can use him. He'd be just the one to do it. And tells him to come in and discuss the deal about burning down the neighbor's house because he wouldn't give him any water. Oh, man, this guy is inhuman is right. So apparently there's a dog now, and I think the dog belongs to the old man. I hope he spends some money to feed this thing. As he goes into the other room to get the money, he goes, I bet this old codger's got plenty. As he goes into the room to get the money to pay the guy tries to come at him with a knife. Solace manages to overpower him, probably because he hasn't eaten in a day, and with the help of a dog, he strangles the man to death. Which, okay, he was defending himself and his money. It's a little bit reasonable at this case. Anyways, she's still sitting there at her car and says, half an hour and not even one car has passed. This is what's that? And apparently it's dark now because her headlights are on. She goes, Jeepers, the fellow screaming bloody murder. I better investigate as Miss Masque. And she has the outfit in her car. And we notice that she wears a miniskirt as part of her outfit. And in all of her subsequent appearances, she will be in a miniskirt. Don't say it, voice. Anyways, she bursts into the house and confronts him and says, "You've killed him." And he's like, "What do you want?" And she says that she's got a lot of explaining to do. And he sees her mask and says, "The mask, you must be a thief. You're after my money too, but you can't have," oof. And that's when the dog jumps her. Now, he's not concerned that there's a costume crime fighter in his house. He thinks it's another thief after his money. He's so obsessed with his money, he can't think anything else. The dog jumps on her. He throws a pot and knocks her out. He's like, "That'll fix her." And instead of getting her out of the house or anything, he decides it's time to burn the house down to get rid of all the evidence. So he goes into the room and says the bag is too heavy, so he starts to stuff the money into his pockets and a money belt, and then sets the place on fire and decides to leave the dog chained up too. He says, "I'll leave the dog behind. He'd help to identify me. I'll go to another state where no one knows me. I can start all over again." So yeah, he leaves his dog because he doesn't want the dog to help identify him after the house fire. Oh yeah, I'm sure the dog's going to go to the police station and say, "Hey, I saw this man do it." I mean, that's freaking ridiculous. Now, he's running away and he's laughing at his actions while some of the money seems to fly out of his money belt. Yeah, real secure. At that time, Miss Masque revives and sees that the house is on fire, and she tries to get out the front door, which she is, of course, locked. She says that the dog is terrified and has forgotten about her. Well, of course, the house is on fire. And she breaks a window open so she can leap through, and her and the dog leap through in the nick of time. Now, I just want to say for a quick moment here, I've checked up on this, and breaking a window open in a house fire is a terrible idea, because the rush of oxygen that would come in there would set the blaze even higher and faster. Of course, I don't see another option for her getting out, so I guess it's the only thing she could do. Now, she starts to pursue the maniac, and the dog runs after him. That fool dog, how did he get loose? He'll give me away. And he throws a rock and smacks the dog upside the head. Miss Masque, of course, was following the dog and found the trail of him. He starts to cross a bridge, and she catches up to him and grabs him, and he falls to the bridge, and they both fall through. "I got you, Solace, and I'm saving you for the gallows. I'll kill you. Look out, I can't hang on." And the piece of the bridge breaks away, and they both fall into the water, which is remarkably deep for a river. They both fall in, and he says that he can't swim and that the money is too heavy. It's a twofer. Now, she tries to bring him up, but remember, he's got thousands of dollars stuffed into his pockets full of bills and coins. And she exclaimed that he's too heavy. And she says, "Nothing I can do. It would take too long to try and remove his knapsack and money belt. I'd drown myself." So she leaves him there to drown. "Perhaps it's better this way, that the money and greed of Solace Manson," how does she know his last name, "should be his own undoing. Miss Masque will star in another thrilling story in our next issue. Watch for it." And she does. She does appear. Most of the Miss Masque stories would have her investigating crime in some way. Some of the people that she goes after would survive. Some of them would die. I mean, it wasn't unusual for non-powered superheroes to take extreme measures. Oh, not non-powered heroes to take extreme measures to take down the bad guys. So she would appear in her civilian outfit, and she's rich, like with the Purple Tigress and Miss Fury, where she would appear and take out the bad guys in numerous other different ways. And in her later adventures, they would get more guys to read her by revealing more cleavage and getting the skirt a little bit shorter. Oh, you just had to say something, didn't you? Anyways, that's the blonde bombshell Masque. They tried to keep her relevant as much as the issues that she appeared in, but as I stated earlier, she was phased out by Jungle Girls, which was starting to be the next big thing.
Jungle Girl.
Okay, stop that. Anyways, that is Miss Masque. Now, in Project Superpowers, she is going by Masquerade, and she's essentially dressed as the same as she was in the 1980s, I believe, in the AC Comics series, where she's no longer wearing the mini skirt. She's wearing kind of a dress that flows almost down to her legs, but the sides of it are still exposed. You can see the pictures here. I don't know what the outfit is called exactly, so I can't really explain it. When we first see her, she's wandering the streets of what we think is Tokyo. They didn't exactly explain. And she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know who V-Man is. And she starts to get some sort of mysterious disease with red spots on her face. We find her later talking to V-Man, and an explanation of her powers comes forth as she removed her mask to cure her, but when she put the mask back on, she was cured of the disease. And we find out that she has a power that she never knew about before, where she can enter a person's body and pretty much take on their identity. But she does have the problem that she can lose herself, because she essentially becomes that person. So it helps her with transferring of knowledge, but she has to put the mask back on to become herself again. Now, we didn't get an example of her getting into somebody else's body until you see here on the plane how she needed information for what was going on in the battlegrounds. You see, she takes off her mask, mesmerizes the person, and goes into her body, and then we see the mask being put back on the face to be able to bring her out of the body, and then she knew what was going on the ground. The main reason that she has this power is so that she can reveal that Captain Future is actually Zeus. That would be the second time we see her using the power, and this time she doesn't use the power where she mesmerizes him. They're too busy fighting him. So she touches him and merges with his body that way. And then when she comes out, the fact that he was so powerful actually overwhelms her, and then she's able to tell everyone that he is actually Zeus. So yeah, he's pretty pissed off. He's been caught in the urn for over 50 years. Of course, in the life of a god, 50 years is just a drop in the bucket. I mean, it's more like a nap. So there is one more time when we use it. So that's what Masquerade is in Project Superpower. She's a plot device. One more time she uses it. She enters the flame so she can talk directly to the flame, not the flame who possesses the flame. She talks directly to Prometheus's flame, who apparently is a separate entity and its own consciousness. I'm not even going to try to explain that. It's Project Superpowers and Dynamite Entertainment. They're doing their own thing. So when she leaves the body, she makes this thing, I never knew that love could burn like that. Is that the way it is for you two? And the flame's like, enough of your nonsense. Tell us what you know. And we find out that Zeus does not fear the flame. He actually wants to possess the flame. And that's the last time she uses her powers. She does appear in the rest of the comic. Oh, I forgot. There was a scene where she is sitting and talking to the other two heroes that wear scarlet, the Lady in Red and Lady Satan, where she talks about how she uses her powers and how she may have used it on V-Man and how she seems to get lost. Just basically a rundown of her powers, which she only uses them 3 times total, and then she's just around for the rest of the story. She's making a few comments. She's there for all the heroes on deck battle. Basically, part of the cast, but not standing out from the cast. Apart from, being able to give us basically, she's kind of a plot device, MacGuffin-ish type of thing, because she moves the storyline forward, which is what a MacGuffin does. I think I'm using that right. So she's kind of a plot device, kind of a MacGuffin. She moves the plot forward, and then she's just there for the rest of the story. So that is Masquerade. Well, that's it for this episode of Lost Heroes of the Golden Age. I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep those requests coming in. I always love to do requests. And remember, we get to your hero faster if you get to the request than whichever obscure hero I might be willing to review next. Got a lot more requests coming, so if you send yours in, I'll add them to the list. Until next time, I'll be seeing you. Oh, like and subscribe. I'll see you.